Another day, another location. Yeah, I'm just chilling out today. It's Dr. Prodigal coming to you. Loving all of this. I've really been meditating on something. Deuteronomy, first chapter, eighth verse. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and to their seed after them. As you can see, I'm a little bit relaxed this morning. I'm actually in another location in my little humble abode here. I'm enjoying it, watching all the geese go south and things like that. And I'm thinking of the land, the land. One of the things that I see in the Bible, especially with them going into the promised land, was that there's always going to be a little bit difficulty. But now it depends on how much difficulty. What we see is, first of all, someone that had a bad report, so it slowed everyone else going down there. But eventually they did possess the land. So one time, I actually got to hear Larry Holmes say that he was buying up land. This had to be like the 80s, probably the early 80s. And he said when God stopped making land, there was no more. And that hit me right between my eyes, because we don't think about it like that. We always think about there's always going to be more or something of that nature. So how do we reconcile that? I mean, being an African American, there have been many times that land was taken from us. My grandmother, Native American. There's some questions about how she got the land, but there's also some stories of what really hindered her. These are things that are real. So as I'm driving through the countryside, oftentimes I'm seeing signs that say that this farm is a century farm or a historic farm, or I'm meeting people whose family actually owned property for like 200 years in this state. And now it's coming to the point of the children didn't really want to continue farming or whatever was done on the land, so they sell the land for property development. And now there's a big market for that, but yet someone's still possessing the land. So home ownership, in essence, unless you are from a city such as Washington, D.C., or some state where you don't own the land, but you own the home on it, home ownership is your way of possessing the land. And then anything after that is your way of possessing the land. But so often, the vast majority of Americans are not possessing the land. The only land that they're possessing is land that's going to be worthless and become an idol. Okay, why do I say this? I was looking at funeral expenses. We had a discussion with a few people recently about funeral costs. And people were averted to being cremated. Oh, no, it shall not be. Oh, no, the Lord said, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'll just be listening to him like, really? Where did he say that at? But, my thought is to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord. So if I'm absent from this body, which is going to die, and I'm already present with the Lord, then I'm not going to care what you do with the body. To me, it's the same as a pair of shoes. Once I throw that pair of shoes away and that shoe has no more use, then I kind of don't care what you do with the shoe. In this situation, the person was saying, I want to be put in the ground. You ain't going to know anyway. So you want to be, and then you are put in the ground, and then years later somebody dig you up and want to study your skeleton and check your jewelry out and everything else. Again, I'm going to be absent in this body, but I'll be present with the Lord. This body is not me. So I go back to the land aspect of this. Funeral costs. It costs just as much to rent a casket as it does pretty much to buy it. You have to do so much to get the body. Every time that body's touched, there's $1 attached to it. And it is. So now we're looking at it again. So where am I going to with all of this? I'm going to the grave. So many people invest their whole life to be placed in the grave, and they may not even possess the land in the way of ownership. They may possess the land of just laying there, and nothing else can be done. So in essence, they're a squatter. Hate to put it like that. It just came to me like that, but that's what happens. So here we are thinking of this, watching this, and I told someone, I don't want to be buried in any cemetery. And he was saying, why? Don't you want your relatives to come visit you? I said, I'm not there. Well, you want to be cremated? Yes. Cremate me and scatter me over the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean, preferably Pacific Ocean, preferably in the Marshall Islands, preferably in the lagoon. Uh, I didn't understand that. And he said, well, can you explain it? I said, well, so many people, even with our own community, families, associates or whatever, they own no land. And then they want a big lavish funeral, and that funeral itself is so expensive. And then they pay for a plot of land that I've seen plots. As a matter of fact, most plots are very expensive. They're anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 depending on where. I've had land sold that only went for $2,500 an acre. So I'm thinking if the average plot can outpace cheap land, something's up. So that little plot of land, I don't know how deep. I know it's 6 foot deep. I guess it's like 8 foot long or 4 feet, 5 foot wide. I don't know. But the only purpose of that is to hold something dead. And if my people come and talk to me, they're only talking to a container, possibly some worms, some bugs. But yet we possess that land. I submit to you that we shouldn't stress to possess the grave as our land, but we should strive to possess land now. For those who haven't possessed land, it's not too late to start. For those who have no ability to possess, it can still work out. Wherever you step with your foot, you possess that land. Let's start concentrating on the land to possess on earth instead of the land to possess under earth. This is Dr. Prodigal. Let's give that some thought. Let's possess the land. What is your land that you need to possess? And what do you need to do to ensure that it's going to be productive, the land that you possess? God bless you. Dr. Prodigal, love y'all.